WWE NXT results, highlights, analysis, and grades for August 2nd with NXT TakeOver, Brooklyn 3 a little over 2 weeks away. Feuds are beginning to heat up. Last week we saw the No. 1 contender for both NXT singles titles called out by the challenger, as well as a few matches, as unexciting as they were, progress feuds and storylines. This week's episode was a marked improvement over the July 26th episode. In fact, July 26th had very little wrestling, with 2 of the 3 matches acting as enhancement matches, and one ending with a DQ finish. Sure, it kept some storylines alive, but I certainly don't watch NXT for squash matches and non-finishes. As we head into this week's episode, WWE finds a better balance with an exciting main event and at least one other entertaining contest, and a surprise debut from a decorated champion in the main event. So let's get to it. Oni Gargano vs Raul Mendoza. Result: Gargano def. Mendoza via Gargano. Escape rating 2.0 out of 5 stars in his first match since being betrayed by his best friend and former tag team partner. Gargano goes one-on-one with the former Leacatter, Raul Mendoza. The match was scheduled last week, without much build, but was meant to serve as a re-entry point for Gargano. The matchup highlighted both competitors' strength, including plenty of mat wrestling and high spots. Ultimately, Gargano forced Mendoza to tap to the Gargano escape. The real story is the inevitable collision between he and the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa. Together, Sharp DIY became NXT Tag Team Champions, before losing them to the Authors of Pain, after their final match to try and reclaim the titles at TakeOver Chicago. Ciampa attacked Gargano. This rivalry seemed like it was destined for culmination at TakeOver Exists Brooklyn, but Ciampa suffered a legitimate injury. Recap of Sanity vs Authors of Pain. Last week, after preventing the Authors Pain's match last week, Sanity has been granted a NXT Tag Team Championship match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. After the announcement, we are shown a vignette of Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering. Ellering warned Sanity that Monty exists and that AOP will write the next chapter. Honestly, I don't really like AOP. I don't really get what they are. They're dressed like mercenaries, yet go on about some metaphorical book. I also dislike that they have a mouthpiece, especially in a developmental brand like NXT. Let them make mistakes and work on their mic skills. There's nothing about them that excites me.